a dummy when it comes to this stuff. I didn't even know you can see me. Mazel tov.
We can see you.
Thank you.
Hi, Damien.
Morning. We can see all of you. Big Brother's
Hi,
watching.
Eddie.
Hi, Bubby.
Ed, that's nice. Ed,
Yes. Hi. Hello.
that's a nice Corona beard.
I don't know how much longer, but thank you.
My son has the same thing.
Oh, really?
It's not.
Everybody, this is my son-in-law, Josh. Josh, this is everybody. Just wave. There you go.
I don't see Josh.
He's where Karen should be.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Josh.
Hi, Josh.
He's on the bottom for me, but I don't know where everybody is, so.
Robin, what's the name? Robin has a big dog?
What?
Yes.
Does Robin have a big dog?
No, it's a little dog.
Hi,
She
Mary.
has the only dog.
Hello.
It looks like a big dog.
No, she's 15 pounds.
Freddie. Hi, Freddie. Hi, Shelly.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. It's
Hey,
Michelle.
dog, how are you?
Hi, Freddie.
Hello, Deanne.
Hi, Dan.
Hi,
Fred.
Fred. Hi, Dean.
Hi, Robin. Like your dog.
Hello.
What's the dog's name?
Maddie.
Oh. You have to hold her all the way up. She looks so big.
Hi, she's a
Sitting
little
on your
thing.
lap. Hi, Elaine.
How are you?
Hi, Elaine.
Hi.
Elaine.
Hi.
Madam Secretary?
How are you, everyone?
Elaine,
Hi.
thank
Hi,
you for last night. It was so
Oh.
much fun.
We had fun. It was
It
fun.
was good laughs.
A lot
You
of
did a good
fun
job.
words.
Yeah, it was great.
A lot of mavens.
A lot of mavens.
And now we know what that word means.
Right.
Right.
That's funny.
We're missing somebody.
Rabbi?
That's so sound.
Hello.
Hello.
Barbara.
Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
How are
Barbara.
you?
Hello.
We may prefer not going back to shul again.
I know, we get more attendees here.
I'm telling you. This is just so easy.
I know. And rent-free.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Good Shabbos.
Hi,
Hello.
Jay.
Hello.
Good
Shabbos.
Okay, someone had taken away my Google Chrome app. I must not have paid my rent this month. All right. Good Shabbos. Before we begin, it's 7 o'clock. When we begin, we welcome the mourners into our midst. We ask to comfort them among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. So heartfelt condolences to Nancy Hoffman, the passing of her father, Melvin Lantner. May God comfort and strengthen them on the Shabbat. We continue with the blessing over the candles of Shabbat. Can everyone mute their phones, including me?
Hello, everyone. It's Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
How are you? Shabbat shalom.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kibishanu b'milotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. We rise for the call to worship. Everyone stay muted, except the cantor and myself. Baruch hu et Adonai havarach. Praise the one to whom our praise is due. Baruch Hanai Varach Li'olam Va'ed. Our praise is due now and forever. Matthew Cantor. remain standing as we turn to the Shema, the watchword of our faith. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the eternal one is our God, the eternal
The
God
Lord is
alone.
one.
Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto, the Lord. Blessed is God's glory, majesty forever and ever. Cantor.
Israel, Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Amen. Let's be seated. Now, just because we're muted doesn't mean we shouldn't be praying. So I would like to see all of us praying, though I'll remain unmuted for a good part of it. So we're going to join together, and if you have to, everyone else, except the cantor, please mute your phones together. V'yahavta eit Adonai Elohecha, v'chol avavcha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol miodecha. V'ayu hadvarim ha'eleh, asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al avavecha. V'shinantam levonecha v'dibarta bam, v'shiftecha b'veitecha, lechtecha b'derech, shachbecha v'kumecha. Shartam liot ayadecha, v'yulatot afot beinenecha. Uchtavtam amazot beitecha v'sharecha. Amantis garu v'asitem et kol misotai, v'tem k'roshem lohechem. Ani Adonai lohechem, asher hotzeti etchem eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. During this most difficult time, the Shema takes on added meaning. In addition to affirming the one God in the heaven and earth, the God of the universe with whom we have a special relationship as Am Yisrael, it affirms our faith in God. Though we go to sleep at night, get up in the morning, that throughout the day, God goes with us, giving us strength and hope, a recognition that we're never alone. Can't you lead us in the singing of the Michamocha, please?
Kamocha, Vayeli Adonai, Mi kamocha, Nedor ba'oleh, Nora tehilot, Oreh Efeleh, Nora tehilot, Oseh Malchut Okeyayam Lifnei Moshe Miriam Zehi Anu V'yameru Adonai Imloch Le'olam Va'ed.
Amen. I just saw Nancy come on board. And also, to Nancy, again, our condolences in the passing of Dad. Elisa Frischling, again, our condolences in passing of a very, very dear and beloved friend. May God comfort you and your family among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We continue with the singing of the Vishamru, which the cantor will lead us. I want to see your lips moving. I don't want to hear you. You don't want to hear me. I want to see your lips moving. Cantor, go ahead.
Israel et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. אותי לעולם. אותי לעולם. Rabbi, mute yourself, please.
Cantor, you lead us in the opening paragraph of the Avot of the Tefillah.
Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'lehei avotinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. Rabbi, unmute yourself, please.
Keep hitting the wrong thing. Now our Cantor and Matthew, a blessing to us all, will lead us in the singing of the Shalom Rav. Now, Shalom Rav, word means great peace. Every day, every Shabbat, we pay for peace, inner peace. But Shalom Rav is, Rav meaning great, is reserved for a time such as this. A time of global warfare. Humankind is fighting for its very survival. Great peace that gives us the strength, the hope that we will emerge from this day to new and a Shalom Rav, a world at peace with itself and with nature. Cantor?
Shalom Rav, Israel, Shalom Israel Amcha, Tasim Leolam, Ki Ata Hu Melech Adon, Lechol HaShalom HaShalom, V'tov Beidech Livarech et Amcha, Livarech et Amcha Yisrael, B'chol עת ובכל שעה, שלומך? שלום רב על ישראל עמך, תשים לעולם. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
Amen. Also joining us tonight through the good graces of Doug Segan, also Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder, Chief of Police Ray Horton of Freeport, members of the Nassau County and the Freeport Police Departments. We ask for shalom, for peace. These are women and men who enable us to be at peace, to feel that sense of security, who have been watching over us past months before we left the temple, and God willing, when we return to the temple, together, of course, with members of the NYPD, which I had served many years ago. They are our first responders. We are quarantining in place. They are on the front lines. It's to them we dedicate this service and pray for them, for the physicians, the essential workers, the members of our county and state who work that we may go forward from strength to strength. Thank you all. Now we continue with the singing of the Sim Shalom, a personal piece. Cantor Matthew, please. Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'al Yisrael.
Yaseh shalom.
Yaseh shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Adding to our list of first responders, the very own Lauren Franklin, who was featured on ABC for her work in the Moms That Make Masks, also on the front lines to make sure that no one in our temple and no one of family that temple members knew would go without matzah on Passover. She will be joining, I plan to join her this week. She will be honored, she was honored today by the mayor of Lynbrook, and be honored by Mayor Kennedy, the mayor of Freeport, whose son, by the way, is one of our very special security forces. So thank you, Lauren, and God bless you. You are truly an Ashes Chayil, a woman of valor. Okay, we're going to do now is what we do at the beginning of every month. Ask blessings upon those who are celebrating birthdays or anniversaries in the month of May. If you're celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, please let me know. Let us all know now so we can all say Mazel Tov. Anyone? Don't be bashful and mute yourselves.
It's my birthday this month. Jim Rotenberg's saying.
Many more happy and healthy, Jim.
You missed Mary's yesterday.
Many more happy and healthy, Mary. Anyone else? You all waited to June to get married? Any anniversaries? Well, it's an anniversary of another spring. It's starting to get nice. And hopefully the outside will be captured by the beauty of nature within ourselves. So our birthday boy and birthday girl, please rise as I ask God's choicest blessing upon you. Please stand up. Avinu Shabbat Shamayim, O Heavenly Father, the children have come before you. Give thanks for another year of life. May it be a year of life and health, happiness, fulfillment, a year shared in their lives with those whom they love and who love them. And so I pray, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may the Lord bless you and keep you. Yo'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, may the Lord lift up his face upon you, gracious unto you. Yisanai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom, may the Lord lift up his face upon you and grant you long life, good health. All good things we who love you wish for you. But above all, his gift of shalom bayit, his blessing of peace. So I'll say, Amen. Mazel tov, mazel tov. Can't you do a little siman tov and mazel tov?
Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, siman tov, siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, siman tov, elanu, elanu,
Very nice. Mazel tov. By the way, it's very special to me that two of my teachers are celebrating birthdays. Leave it alone in these days. First, Mary Cooper, who she'll remember, I insisted you take Hebrew, you and Linda. You take Hebrew when you were teaching at Temple Israel way back. And mentioning that, these Shabbosim, I've been using this Kiddush cup given to me by Rabbi Zion in 1977, when my job was to run the religious school. And this Kiddush cup was a gift of the first confirmation class in Temple Israel's history. The reason he gave it to me, very simply, was that to inspire our young people not to drop out after Bar Mitzvah, but to continue to confirmation and thereafter. That Jewish study is a lifelong endeavor, which the Cantor and I do several times a week virtually. These past 18 years together, which is chai. And Jim Rotenberg teaches me something new every day. He sent me a remarkable article, Jim. Thank you. I'm going to ask you to speak upon it one Shabbos. So I'll give you a little time. Making the point that the first Jewish president, Jim, don't tell him. Who do you think the first Jewish president was? It wasn't Bill Clinton. Lyndon Baines Johnson. So Jim, we'll talk and we'll pick a date when you could enlighten us. And now we make the key Shabbat wine rise together.
Thank you for your birthday wishes, and I invite everyone to a virtual birthday party. We will have virtual strawberry shortcake.
Thank you. And Mary, again, Mazel Tov, and many more happy and healthy. It's always a pleasure to celebrate another year with you. Kiddush takes on added significance during these difficult times. First, in spite of the difficulties we encounter, there's always some sweetness in life, which is symbolized by the wine. And the motzi, the prayer over the bread. You know, my third favorite city behind Tel Aviv and New York is Rome. So I'm making the motzi with a nice piece of Italian bread, especially these times when there's shortages. We don't take the gift of food for granted. We thank God for what we have, not only with food, but in our life, with our health, with our families. So Cantor lead us in the Kiddush and the motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu
Amen. L'chaim.
Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. A Torah portion this Shabbat speaks to these times. There are a couple of lessons which I'd like to share with you. It's a double portion. The first portion is Acharei Mot, which discusses after the death of Aaron's two sons for lighting false fires to strange gods. And the other one is Kedoshim, which is the essence of Judaism and the Torah, which means, be holy, for I, the Lord thy God, am holy. The great Shmuel Reggio, one of the chief rabbis of Italy in the beginning of the 20th century, had this to say about false idols. False idols are not simply physical objects. It's not that you create an idol like the Israelites created the golden calf. It's not that we idolize money, our possessions. But false idols in the Torah symbolize false ideas, dangerous ideas. And unfortunately, our world is gripped by them. We see this in the anti-Semitism, the Islamophobia, especially during the season of Ramadan, racial hatred. We saw it today on TV. I don't know how many of you had the TV on. TV always inspires me. As I said, if I was really good, I'd be on TV, not on the screen. I'm just kidding. This is the greatest gig going. Of those who refuse to accept the reality that we have to distance, that we need to put on masks. And one great genius said, oh, if there's a vaccine, I'm not taking it. I don't believe in vaccines. And we saw that up in Muncie with the measles. Now, we also have to be careful how we deal with false ideas. And those who hold them, though we don't brush a whole people with the stupidity and the denial and lack of reality that they embrace. I want to start with a joke. You might have heard it before. If you didn't, that's good. If you did, I don't want to hear about it. You'll hear it again. High holidays, God willing, we should be in the temple. This Baptist minister down south, raging floods in New Orleans. The water's rising. He's at the top floor of his building, and a boat goes by and it says, Reverend, jump in the boat, I'm going to save you. The Reverend said, God will provide. Next, the water keeps rising. He's on the roof. A helicopter passes by and says, Reverend, get into the helicopter. We're going to save you. He said, the Lord will provide. Well, the reality is the water comes up and he drowns. He goes to heaven. And he said, God, I worshiped you so faithfully each and every day of my life. I dedicate my life to your service. I said to all my believers and parishioners that you would provide. Why didn't you provide? To which God bellows out, who do you think sent you the rowboat and the helicopter? The reality is God helps those also who help themselves. I don't want to paint the entire Hasidic community with one brush, but what occurred in Brooklyn this past week at the funeral of a famous Rav was not a showing of piety and reverence, but believing in false idols. How many of you know Rabbi Wallowik of Cedarhurst? Who knows the name?
I do.
He's the Chabad rabbi. Called me yesterday. Two of us are going to write an article for Newsday together. He made it quite explicit to his congregation. They are not to join together for worship, for prayer, for funerals, for weddings. One of the problems we face with false idols are those who are the priests of these false idols. And we have to be careful for that. But there's another concept here in a story which I've told before. David, you know the punchline, so shh. And it's a true story. Years ago, I was at a cemetery, and a man was at the grave of his wife, and he kept saying, I loved her, I loved her, I loved her. And I said, I'm sure you did, sir. And he said, yes, but I never told her. that I loved her. This is a time to put our egos, which are usually false, which usually reflect our weaknesses, thinking who the heck we are and who we would not be without our loved ones, our families, our spouses, our children, grandchildren, extended family, our temple family, our community. Temple Israel is a family. It's time to tell each other how much we love each other, not just today, but how much we need each other, what we've contributed to each other's lives. And if you think I'm kidding, I was called yesterday by a funeral director who I recommend handling most of our funerals, Cliff Lyons. Precautions, the whole business. He came down with the COVID virus, as did Greg D'Arienzo, the son of the manager of all the chapels on Long Island. It's time we tell each other we love each other. And the juxtaposition of these two Torah portions, Acharei Mot, which means after the death, and Kedoshim, conveys that lesson. Oftentimes, when a person passes, Acharei Mot, after they die, Kedoshim, we make them into a tzaddik. The reality is we have to appreciate them, show our appreciation, our understanding during their lifetime, because it elevates our lives as well. Now, also, there's another point here which I'd like to expound upon briefly. It's the golden rule. V'ahavta l'orecha kamocha anochi Adonai. Love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Now, the same Italian rabbi, Reggio, I think they named a Parmesan cheese after him, came up with this explanation that it means love your neighbor as you want your neighbor to love you. That's good. That's good. My explanation, which I've used a number of times, is this. As you love your neighbor. The next word is Anochi Adonai, I am the Lord. I, the Lord, will love you. And it's important. It's very, very important that we treat everybody with dignity, sensitivity, concern, especially at this most difficult time, when so many are giving their all. It's time, especially we as a congregation, and I'd say most congregations are guilty of the same thing, put away what have you done for me lately syndrome and realize how blessed we are because of each other. That's my point number one. We have to show our sensitivity. We have to put away the egos. That's what God demands of us. To be holy and to be concerned with how the Holy One looks upon us. You know, having officiated at too many funerals, oftentimes taking the history from the family, talking about Dad, all they kept saying is, oh, it was a great success in business and he loved his golf. Okay, that's good. But there's more. You know, Acharei Mot, at the end of the days, which comes to all of us, how do we want to be remembered? And forget about waiting to the end of day to 120. But when we turn our backs, what do we think others are saying about us behind our backs? That we were sensitive, we were caring, we were good to neshamas, kind souls. We held all people, from the highest to the most modest, from our bosses to our employees, on the highest level. And ultimately, in these times, what will God think about us? Yes, the time has come that we not simply hear the words, but take the lessons to heart. V'ahavta l'recha, to love one another, and God will love us. Now, Fred, you on? Where are you? Let me see you. Fred Rudin.
I'm here.
Okay. Do you remember the drugstore on that strange corner, Queens Boulevard? It came to a point.
Yeah.
Okay. The guy who owned it initially, his name was Lewin.
And that was the name of the drugstore.
Yeah. And when I left Temple Israel, my congregation was a couple blocks away on 112th Street, Temple of Sinai of Forest Hills. And he put a ton of money into Temple Sinai. Kept thanking him. It's even before my time. And he said to me, Rabbi, you're a kid, but you learn the more you give, the more you get. And I think that's a lesson to take to heart. The more we give, the more we get. And I think we are all a congregation, a community of givers, that God will smile down upon us. Amen. Okay, I want everyone to unmute themselves now. I spoke enough. Amy keeps telling me that all the time. I want to hear from you. How was your week? How are you guys doing? Don't be bashful. I care.
Not for us.
Coming together and seeing you really uplifts me. It's a high point of my week. Also, Elaine and the Cantors, programs and adult education. And Lee, we're looking forward to hearing from you tomorrow. You've raised some fascinating points about our Torah portions. Give a little introduction, and I'm looking forward to an erudite, exciting, and moving discussion. Also, I try to call as many people as I can. Unfortunately, a lot of calls dealing with funerals. Everyone has my telephone number. As we say in Brooklyn, where I come from, Shemzach. I love to hear from you guys. If I don't pick up the phone, you pick up the phone. Say hello. Say hello. It means a lot to me. Anybody else want to add anything?
Les.
Les?
I'm following you, saying hello.
Thank you.
Hello and good Shabbos.
And a good Shabbos.
Oh, and good Shabbos.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
That's right. A Shabbos of peace. Shabbos of peace. Okay, now I'm going to ask everyone to rise. Use your phones, please.
Yes, you're right. Well, it's not very open.
And I'm going to ask the cantor to lead us singing up the Mission Be'er. Wait a minute, cantor. First, let me read the names, and then if you could add to the Mission Be'er of Saint Yaakov, Heavenly Father. We beseech you to grant for Shalema, food, nefesh, your food, guf, healing of body, of soul, of spirit. Ray Quate, Ray Berman, Lee Franklin, Bruce Bergman, Beverly Pecos, Kelly Spear, Jenna Land, Rob Land, those afflicted with the COVID virus, Cliff Lyons, Greg D'Arienzo, to heal the sorrowing hearts of those who lost beloveds in these days leading up to the Shabbat. Who else to remember in our prayers for healing the Shabbat? Please pull out their names.
Beverly Ross, Ben Radin.
Bernard Biden, Jason Wender,
Walter Halperin.
And all who needed God's help and comfort, for them we now pray. Cantor?
מקור
הברכה
May this Lord's who bless you before us, help us find courage, make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Ki מקור הברכה לעולמנו. Bless those in healing with refuah shlema. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
On that day, the Lord shall be one, and his name shall be one. Amen. Be seated.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Amen. I now offer the 23rd Psalm before we recite the Kaddish. Ismol David, a song of David. Eternal God, you are my shepherd. I shall not want. You make me lie down in green pastures. Lead me beside still waters. You restore my soul. You guide me in paths of righteousness for your name's sake. Even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. God and staff, you comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Anoint my head with oil, my cup is overflowing. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I shall dwell in the house of the Eternal One forever and ever. And this Shabbat, we remember the yortzites of Greg, Lillian Chaffetz, Sarah Dick, Harry Gans, Steve Gans, Garfinkel. Please mute yourselves. Please mute your phones. Annette Goldberg, Richard Hausman, Eric Kuchel, Jack L. Muffinson, Hal Ovis, Jenny Portnoff, Ida Rosen, Rabachenko, Mel Schnell, dear Norman Schuster, Dorothy Shapiro, Blanche Shaldina, Joyce Tackman, Sheila Yules, those who passed away in recent days, Gedalia Horowitz, Pauline Giordano, Gary Greenberg, Bert Canterman, Alice Fiden, Mayor Greenberg, Alex Sanchez, Eleanor Lanter, Peter Calbo, Stanley H. Levin, Melvin Lantner, and we remember those who passed away during this 11-month period. A new remembrance we instituted the other week. Stanley Coppola, Wayne Price, Martin Brownstein, Betty Ann Carn, Marvin Lanter. Anyone else you remember in our prayers of Kaddish this Shabbat? Call out their names, please. Those who passed from the COVID virus and all others who we now remember. And now together in love, empathy, and respect, we rise as we praise God's name and the words of the Monas Kaddish as we say, together, Yiskadal v'yiskadash rabba v'yalma divrach erusei v'yamlich machlusei v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beis Yisrael Bagolo Bizman Koriv Yimru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mubarach Liolam Amei Maya. Yisparach Vishtabach Vispar Visramam Visnasei. Yisadar Vishalev Vishalal Shemei Kutsha Barichu. Leolam and Kol Berachasa Vishirasa. Vishbachasa V'nechamasa. Amiram Yomal Yimru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'chayim. Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Osei Shalom v'romav hu yaseh Shalom. Aleinu v'al Kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. May the Father of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort all the bereaved among us. Amen. Please be seated. Doug, would you like to say a few words?
Sure, Rabbi. Thank you so much, Rabbi. Thank you, Cantor and Dr. Lewis, for the beautiful music. Thank you, Rabbi, for the inspiring words. Thank you, Damien, for setting up the technology. Looking forward to speaking with everybody tomorrow morning at 9:30 at Torah study. That's telephone only. And Wednesday night, we have a great talk on Irving Berlin by John Kendrick, highly recommended by Deanne Christel. And Thursday night, looking forward to happy hour with Cantor and Elaine for celebrating our moms. Everyone have a peaceful and healthy week.
Thank you. Cantor, Dr. Lewis, thank you very much for a beautiful service. I'd like to welcome the members of the law enforcement community and guests who have joined with us. You're welcome at all our services, and we embrace you wholeheartedly as members of our extended Temple Israel family. We rise for our closing benediction. It's become our fight song, our theme song, our mantra these weeks. Am Yisrael Chai. The Jewish people not only survive, but thrive. Cantor Matthew.
Am Yisrael Chai, 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 Am
Dear God, as we go forward from this Kabbalat Shabbat service, we recognize first and foremost, we're all in this together, today and tomorrow, and the ensuing years and months. Fill us with spirit of righteousness, of tzedakah, of sensitivity for our fellow human beings, that together we may rise from this to a new and glorious day, a blessing time for each and every one of us. We beseech you, O Lord, to grant your people Israel and all your peoples everywhere. Your gift of shalom, your blessing of peace, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may the Lord bless you and keep you. Your Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha, may the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisanai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom. We come to recognize that our measure of peace, of goodness, will come in the way we show our love for our neighbor as God intended, our love for the holy. May God love us with a whole heart as we love each other. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
You talk to people.
Okay.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Jimmy's calling.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good job.
Good Shabbos.
Wishing everybody Shabbat.
Congratulations,
You left the meeting.
And again, Lauren,
Jim?
Mazel Tov, thank you, congratulations.
Jim, you there?
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom. Happy birthday, Jim.
Shabbat shalom. Everybody is still wishing each other a happy whatever, but I think Karen just left.
Okay, good Shabbos.
Good
Good
Shabbos.
job, Rabbi. Thank
I'll
you.
see you tomorrow morning, God willing, as we say. And we're looking forward
See you
to
in the morning,
hearing
Rabbi.
from you. Take care. Good Shabbos. Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Thank you,
Damien,
Damien.
thank you.
Sorry I missed your phone call, Rabbi. I was in the middle of dinner.
I'm sorry I messed up the computer. Sorry about that. I'll check in a little before if I have it. Sorry, but I thank the Cantor. That little thing you gave me, that bookmark,
Have a
went
good night.
away. It was due with the
Say-
library.
say-
Thank you.
Shabbat
Take
shalom.
care, Marlo. Shabbos.
Hi, Allie.
Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos.
Shabbos.
Amir, good
Amir,
Shabbos.
Shabbos.
And thank
Shabbat
you
shalom.
for sharing the story
Shabbos,
of your
Doug.
father, the pictures. Thank you. Doug Cantor.
To
The Gesundheit Week. Les, thank you. Thank you all.
bless.
Shabbos. Thank you,
Good
Rabbi.
Shabbos. Thank you.
Good night, Les.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night. Good Shabbos,
Thank you.
Doug.
Bye,
All be
Liv.
well.
Good night. Good night.
Okay.
Good night, Candace.
Signing off.
Good night. Good night.
To all
Thank
the
you.
ships, to all the ships at sea, right? Who is that? Walter Winchell? Have a good
No,
Shabbos.